Door-to-door sales, what I learned. Guys, you have to know that door-to-door sales has helped me so much in my business that the moment I see someone else has done door-to-door sales, I want to hire them. In this video, I'm gonna teach you why and maybe why you should think about doing it yourself. Let's dive in. I'm a huge Robert Kiyosaki nerd. I love Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, super epic book. He talks about his journey though. He decided that he would be a salesman for, I think it was Xerox. And he was a salesman for Xerox and he was not that awesome at it. In fact, he was so bad, he didn't sell anything for 18 months. That's a long time to fail as a sales guy, right? That's a super, especially if you're commission-based, like, oh my gosh, I'd be sweating bullets. But he talks about why he did it. He said, I decided that I would be a sales guy because if I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I would have to know sales. If I don't know how to sell, it's very hard to be an entrepreneur. That's a very short road. Think right now of all the people who are entrepreneurs but haven't made it yet. It's usually not because they don't have a product. They probably have a product. It's probably because they don't know how to sell it. And he said, I need to go learn how to do that. So door-to-door sales for me, the worst day was day one. And the worst time of every day was always door one, and it always sucked. So in this video, I wanna share with you guys 4 things that will bless your life if you go do door-to-door sales. These are the top takeaways I learned from my entire experience. Let's dive in. The first thing I learned when I was doing door-to-door sales is the power of a scripted pitch, okay? One of the biggest problems I run into with people who are brand new in this space is they never have consistency in how they pitch, and so they don't know what to change because nothing is measurable. Interesting. There's a lot of stage speakers that actually teach this very same concept that say, look, you need to be so dialed in on a stage when you're pitching that you know that at 10 minutes and 37 seconds, you're on the left side of the stage looking to the top left and you make that cheesy joke as if it was the first time again. It's that scripted. I get set my watch by listening to Russell pitch on his webinars. I sat in the same room as him. I listened to him do his Funnel Hacks webinar so many times. And it was always the same stumbles. Always the same mumbles, always the same jokes. It's a script, and so are the jokes, okay? Having a scripted pitch means it's measurable. And so one of the first things I kind of get slapped around about when I was a door-to-door guy is I kept changing my script. I kept changing the pitch. I didn't follow a script. They pounded that in my head for a long time because it took me a while to get it. I was like, well, I'll just tailor it to each person. All right, there's a little bit of tailoredness that happens for sure, but if you deviate too far, the problem is you have no idea what didn't work if you didn't make the sale. You have no idea what to change. The guys that were always making the same amount of money, they were consistently pulling down big numbers on the board. They had the same exact pitch every single person. And there was only a few parts where they would deviate based on the person and the interaction. This is huge. So again, think about your pitch right now. Think about your product right now. Is it actually scripted or are you kind of just riffing around different points? And yeah, it's the same few points, but it's not really the same. This is one of the top ways to increase your revenue. The second thing I learned as a door-to-door guy that has made a lot more money for me is that objections are good. You want people to object to buying. This sounds counterintuitive, but a no is a future yes, and you should get to the no as fast as possible. Let me just give you a little for instance here. The way I was taught to sell was to think of as if I had a quiver of arrows on my back. And my sales trainer, door-to-door sales trainer, is like, anytime you walk up to someone and you knock on the door and you do your little bit, what's up? Hey, we're spraying the Joneses down the street. We got the truck here. Since it's here, it's half of our cost, so we can do it 50% off. Is 4 or 5 o'clock okay for you guys today? That was literally my opener in that amount of speed. I've already come to call to action. I've already come to asking for cash. I've already come to, you ready to do this? Super hands-off, nonchalant. That fast. Now what do you think they said? Every once in a while, someone would be like, 5 o'clock. And they would buy. Not common. We actually got to the no as fast as possible because we need them to tell us how to sell them. A no is guidance on how to sell somebody. And this was a huge lesson when it came to pitching and it came to script writing. I need ways in my company right now to get someone to tell me no. Like, what? Oh, how come? Oh, I gotta talk to my spouse. Oh, sweet. Okay, the spouse one. Okay, I know that one. And I would grab my pre-spouse loaded arrow from my quiver, right? And I'd pull it out and I'd release that arrow. And this is how I was taught to sell. That as fast as possible, we get to the no because we want to hear what their no is because they're going to tell us their pain points. If I went off and I started talking about things that aren't their pain points, they're just gonna get annoyed. and a bored mind is a no. And so I need them to guide the sale. So one of the biggest things I learned from door to door was to get to the no. Pitch, right? I have this shirt on. This shirt says resting pitch face, okay? That is right on the line. Right? That is right there. That's the closest I'm getting right there. Resting pitch face. I'm going to pitch you. If you sit next to me long enough, I'm gonna say, hey, you should buy one of my products. At some point, it's just gonna happen. Okay, and that's part of where this comes from is you need to ask for money as quickly as possible without being annoying. Figure out a scripted way to do that, because what's going to happen next is gold. They're going to tell you what their reasons are for not buying, and I guarantee you, you're gonna have the same 5. They're gonna be the same few. They're gonna be the same top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's gonna be the same, and so you're gonna know what things you need to create a rebuttal for. This is awesome. After 1 month, my first month of being a door-to-door guy, I knew what the top 5 were. I knew they were gonna say it's either my spouse, it's a contract, is it gonna hurt my kids, it's pest control, right? This is like years ago, so I'm still trying to remember. Okay, but it's the same few. And now in my preparation in the evenings and the mornings, I could sit back and I could review, what do I say when someone says, is it a contract? What do I say when someone says, I already have pest control? Now the customer is guiding the sale, and they can tell me no, and I can have preloaded arrows in my quiver and go, they're giving that objection. Okay, cool. I gotta talk to my spouse. Spouse one, that's right. I know that one. Well, hey, she doesn't like the bugs either, right? I mean, come on, let's make you the hero. You want some brownie points today? It's 4 or 5 o'clock okay for you today. That's what I would say. And this is one of the reasons why door-to-door salespeople have such an easy time becoming entrepreneurs. Before I show you guys one of the coolest ways to make more money from the lessons I learned at door-to-door sales, hey, tell me in the comments below, what's the coolest door-to-door pitch you've ever experienced, okay? Next time someone knocks on your door, don't turn them away. Watch their pitch, see what they're doing. I love engaging with them. Let me know in the comments down below, though. I would love to know what the coolest door-to-door experiences that you've ever had, or the most annoying. Third lesson that I learned in being a door-to-door sales guy is that fortune truly is in the follow-up. We were required every day to have we kept a piece of paper with us, and we would just write the house number of the streets that we were dropped off on, and just keep little notes. No answer, not interested, needs to talk to spouse, doesn't know if they can get out of their current contract, wants to switch. And we would keep notes on every single house. And you'll notice the next door-to-door salesperson that comes to your door, you'll notice after they step off on the street and they step away from your house, just peek around the corner and you'll notice if they're good, if they know what they're doing, they'll make a little note about your conversation. And what they're doing is they're basically separating the wheat from the chaff. They're trying to figure out who they should follow up with in the evening hours. Because what was happening was during the day, not as many people are home. And the evening time is the time you could catch everybody home. And so throughout the day, we would hit basically a punch list of what we were going to be, who we're going to be following up with during the golden evening hours, okay? So the fortune is in the follow-up. Now, we had a really cool sales training manual. They spent tons of money on lots of research with this, and what they found out was that the salespeople who followed up 5 to 7 times were the highest earners. 5 to 7 times? How often are you following up with your customers? I mean, prospective customers. 5 to 7 times? Most people, and they bring up the stat. It's a really interesting study. It's like, statistically, I don't know the exact numbers, so work with me on this a little bit, but basically, over half of salespeople give up after the first no. But remember what I just said, the no is actually how they guide the sale. They just don't know that's what they're doing. If they're like, absolutely, heck no, and they're like slamming the door, yeah, don't follow up with that person, right? But somebody who's still engaged, they give you a no, it's time to resolve the objection and then just go back in for the sale. All right, is 4 or 5 o'clock okay for you today? Well, I don't know. Is it a contract? No, it's not a contract. It's something you can get yourself out of at any time you want to. It's just a pay-as-you-go kind of thing. Is 4 or 5 o'clock okay today? I just gotta know. I don't know, right? And it's this entire game of getting a wall come to you, and you sidestep the wall and go back in for the close. And that's all follow-up is. And when you realize that that's all follow-up is, that it's part of objection handling, this game gets way less anxiety-producing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm being annoying. You're not being nearly as annoying as you think you are. You're just annoyed. They're not as annoyed as you are. Okay, and so understand that this 5 to 7 piece is where most people make all their money. Some of the best salespeople I've ever worked with, they have a list, and they're like, Steve, I'm gonna work with you. It's gonna be awesome. In fact, my top sales guy right now is this way. He spent the first easily month to 2 months. He has a list of all the prospective customers. He has notes on every single one of them, and he's creating 5 to 7 touch points as he continues to inch them closer to a decision. That's his entire role. No high pressure. There's no high pressure sales in there. He's just merely following up and they are selling themselves. That's the power of follow-up. Lesson number 4 from door-to-door sales is that lead source matters. Data source matters. I spent 5 months getting rejected like crazy. I chose to go door to door because I wanted to learn a really tough environment to learn sales in, which worked. It was really tough. I did 2 summers of door to door sales and I was a telemarketer. And what was interesting is I remember my second summer, I was one of the top sales guys, and but only for the first half of the summer. The first half of the summer, I was like on fire, man. I was running between each door so I could pitch more people. I was cooking, man. I was going so fast. It was awesome. Something happened though. At the end of the summer, there was supposed to be this like legendary check, right? And I was in school, and so I wanted this check to be able to pay for the next 2 semesters. And so I'm waiting for this legendary check. I'm back at school. School had just started, and I'm like almost camping near my mailbox. All right, I'm waiting, like, where's this check, man? This thing, come on, 20, 30 grand. This will be perfect. That'll like save my butt for the next 2 semesters. Oh my gosh, right? And I remember this legendary check was supposed to come in the mail. And I remember sitting there as the mail guy puts the mail in. I go and I get it. I open up the check and my stomach just dropped because from 5 months of work was $1,100. I called my guy and I was like, there's more, there's another check. This is just a joke, isn't it? Good one. You know, like, and he's like, no, that's the whole thing. I was like, how is this the whole thing? $1,100 for 5 months of work? You gotta be kidding me. And then I started getting angry. I was like, are you kidding me? Is this like a scam? What's going on? Come on now. 5 months of being on the doors, right? And I get the twitch in the eye. Ooh, you don't want the twitch in the eye, right? And I was like, what's up? This is one of the most powerful lessons I've had in my entire business career. He said, Steven, I told you to stop selling in poor neighborhoods. All of your pest control accounts were in poor neighborhoods. And if I can be as bold to call it that, is that all right, everyone? All right, can we pretend it's the 90s and I can just say what I mean? Ooh. All right, poor neighborhoods. He's like, you're in poor neighborhoods. He's like, what do you think happened on the first rebill when you sell a poor neighborhood account? So that's how pest control works, right? You rebuild every like quarter. He's like, what do you think happened when 3 months goes by? Almost all of my accounts canceled. And while I was one of the top account selling people, the volume of accounts I had was really big. People who had hardly nearly, like they were not anywhere close to the number of accounts I've sold, made so much money. He said, I kept telling you to learn how to sell in rich neighborhoods. Let's dissect that one step. Is it possible to find a rich person in a poor neighborhood? Yeah. You can find rich people in a poor neighborhood. Is it more likely though that you're going to find a lot of rich people in a rich neighborhood? Yeah, and that was his exact point. Guys, good products die in poor markets or neighborhoods, right? So think about the market that you're in. This is one of the biggest lessons I ever got from door to door. If you want to make a lot of money, you learn to fish in the rich places. There's already money there. There's already money there, and they are used to spending it, right? And I had so many money, false beliefs, and objections in my head that I was like, I can't go sell rich contracts to rich people because I'm not rich, because I have money. I had a weird relationship with cash. This is huge. How can I build what I have right here? It's because we figured out rich markets or neighborhoods, because rich people most likely go to rich places and I can meet them there and sell them. And then the contracts stick. Okay, so remember that good products die in poor markets. This is one of the biggest lessons I took from door to door. Hey, I got a free gift for you. Go to capitalismswag.com. If you like this shirt and you're like, yeah, selling's cool, go to capitalismswag.com. We actually have our famous Capitalist Pig shirt on there for free. You just cover shipping. Okay, we'll send it out to you. It ships in like 48 hours, but it's for those people who know that sales is not evil. Sales is amazing and wonderful. It's a great skill set to learn, and that money's not terrible, and it actually makes you go do more cool things in your life as well. Go to capitalismswag.com. We'll put the link in the description for you to click there.